Welcome back to the podcast. You are on JMA Podcast. I am your host, John Murray. Today we have professional fighter Tayvonne Thomas, or Thomas, yes. I keep messing that up. I keep wanting to call him Thompson. My friends, thank you for joining me. And Tayvonne, thank you for joining the podcast. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good today, man. How about you?
I've been blessed. I'm glad that you picked us to be your first podcast. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Awesome. So you've been fighting for a while. For people who may or may not know, you're debuting at Donnybrooke's on the 7th, and this is going to be your first pro fight. But you've been fighting since 17. You told me earlier. You know, how'd you get started into that?
So I honestly started wrestling back in like middle school in like 6th grade. I think I started wrestling when I was like about 14. But like 2 years in, I just kept getting suspended from school for getting in fist fight after fist fight after fist fight. So when I was 16, I came into a gym just like straight up the street, and I was like, I want to fight. So he threw me up against his best fighter, and everything else is history from there. So I started kickboxing around like 16. Had my first kickboxing fight when I was 17. And then from there, it's just history. Just fighting.
Where did you, so you didn't start with Atlas. Where did you originally train?
So I started down on Long Island, because that's where I'm from, in Massac Beach at a gym called, I don't remember. Extreme Fitness, that's what it was. It was a weightlifting gym, but like the coach there he was pretty legit. His name is Chris Cope. He fought on The Ultimate Fighter.
Okay, lit. Was so it was kind of the street thing that got you into the whole. That's interesting. So you kind of have almost that same background as George Masvidal there, where you kind of like
I wasn't really good at anything, you know. But when I fought, I was good at that. I was like, oh shit.
I feel that. So so Long Island to upstate New York is a long way. Like, what brought you up this way?
So I had originally came up here for school, like trade school, but that didn't work out and COVID happened. So I was like, I need to start training again, because I had to take a year break prior to that, like from martial arts.
So you took like that hiatus there. Were you almost planning on giving up the fighting, or was fighting still in the agenda?
For sure, I was planning on giving up the fighting. I think I was 19 years old. I just had my MMA amateur debut, and I really didn't have anything going for myself in life, and I was like on the verge of being homeless and shit. So I had to just like figure out how to make a way to make money quick, you know?
What was that experience like? Like kind of like coming to that transition, or coming through that transition?
It kind of sucked, and I was depressed for a while. It really took a toll on me. But I think most people wouldn't say this, but for me, COVID's probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
That's interesting, because like over here with Jmurrayathletics, a lot of our growth happened during COVID, and it was because of the time and the opportunity that it kind of afforded. So it's interesting. So because of COVID, it reopened that door for MMA to become like a prospect in your life again.
Yeah.
How do you kind of juggle it now, like with MMA, and I assume you probably have a professional job that you take care of during the day.
Yeah. So right now I don't do anything but valet. I do that 5 days a week, and then the other 6, 7 days a week I'm just training. So I work in the morning and I train in the evenings.
Now, you also coach though, right?
Yeah, I'm also the head striking coach over at Atlas Jiu Jitsu. And also, I just started training at Kings of New Jersey, down in New Jersey, twice a week, sparring with them and getting pad work and learning from Coach Powell and Coach Lou down there. I drive down there twice a week. It's like a 2 hour drive there and then
That's
a 2 hour drive back.
that's a real commitment.
Yeah.
That that almost reminds me of the GSP stories where he talks about how he would go from Montreal to New York just to get that key training that he needs. Now, do you like how did like or I guess a better question would be like how do you manage that level of time and commitment that's required for that travel and everything?
Dude, I just think it's necessary, especially at the point I am now and where my striking is. Just around here, my striking isn't gonna get any better than it could be right now, unless I go to like a boxing gym. But like we're MMA fighters, I don't want to get better at just like boxing, you know. So Muay Thai was the way to go for me at least. So managing it, it's just something that needs to be done, and that's what's in my mind. So that's what has to be done. Is like no if, ands, buts about it. Just got to happen.
I feel that. So with this train, so with all the training you do, you've had a lot of fights over the years. Has there been any fights that really have stood out to you as like challenging or like really pushed you?
Um, Two obviously. The my first challenging one was my first one at Cage was with Chris Keeles. I don't know if
Okay.
he's fighting anymore, but that one was just tough because he was just a tough motherfucker. He was just a tough motherfucker. Yeah, I just remember like fighting him, and I'm just like, damn, I'm hitting him with the kitchen sink, and he's not going anywhere. You know,
And
I
you
think that was
you
the
you
first
got
thing
one of
that
those
he
kicks
wasn't.
that you got one of those kicks that really puts people on their ass too. Like I was rewatching, I think your last fight at Cage Wars, and maybe it was that one or one of the ones before that. But you hit this kid in the head, and you could see him almost fall back. Like it was virtually a KO. One more to his head, and he would have been down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the most recent one. Yeah.
Um, jeez. So sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. I'm going through my stuff here. Um, with that match, with the toughest matches, do you do you go back and review any of the footage, or how do you kind of prepare for the next time you go up?
I mean, I have to, right? You got to figure out what you were doing wrong, what you were doing right. But as far as like my old fights, anywhere from like two years ago to a year ago, it's like if you're watching that footage, it's like that's not me. Like I was gun shy, I was kind of waiting on the outside, fighting like I'm a taller person. Dude, I'm 5'4". I was fighting like I'm 6 foot, just because I have the speed that allows me to do that. But yeah, that's not me anymore. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go back and watch that footage. I just started getting the hang of it, as you can see in the DeAndre Porter fight, which is my most recent fight. I just started getting the hang of it, like my style and actually understanding myself.
Has there been anyone who's like really influenced your development, like with your style? Like any specific fighters you watch that you're like, I need to kind of take from that?
Actually, like I, I s- I try to blend like three guys, and two of them are kickboxers. Then the last one's obviously MMA guy because you have to. Takaru Sagawa, he's a K1 fighter. Yuki Yoza, he's also a K1 fighter, and the last one is Piorian.
What about those
So,
fighters is the do you like to take from them?
so Takaru Sagawa, I really like the way he utilizes his lead leg when he can establish his jab, and just his tenacity of coming forward and pressure, 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 pressure. Yuki Yoza, I just like the way he like attacks the legs and attacks the body as well, but he also uses the element of that lead leg. I think that lead leg is really a big thing for me just because I'm so short. But I feel like mostly with anybody, I don't have to like lean on it just because my jab is just it'll get there. I'm fast enough. And as far as Jan goes, Jan's got a bag, man. Jan's got a bag, and I love his takedown defense and his creativity and his high guard. Yeah. So I just try to take from each and blend every little small element into my own.
Now you have almost like a signature throw that you do in almost every match. Where did you develop that? Does that come back from the wrestling when you were a kid?
What throw? I'm not too sure.
So I could actually probably I bet you I could find a video of it. Hold on, because there's you even in sparring. I feel like I see you do it. No, that's Porter. No, that's Quills. It might have happened in Quills, but I'm pretty sure it happened in Porter's most recent one because it's a thumbnail. It's literally a thumbnail.
Oh, you're talking about the double leg.
Maybe, yeah, I think so. You just scoop these dudes right out of the corner and you'll just reposition them. It's incredible because most people have to fight for that position in the corner, whereas you just seem to just move them.
Yeah, I'm just a short little dude, man. I get under you. You going up. That's it. That's it. I'm a strong, powerful, short dude, man. Like if you're not sprawling, I'm under you. That's it.
That it's funny you mentioned it is strong, but you're also freaking explosive too. Like even in training, like you had I had asked you for a pointer, and one of the things you had said was like you need to fucking be more explosive. But for you, it almost seems like it comes natural. Was that something that took time to develop, or was that just something inherently in you?
It's definitely genetic. It's definitely genetic, but it's also something I worked at. Like the whole year I took off of just like MMA. I did nothing but bulk and like deadlift. That's all I did. Just bulk, deadlift, and try to like really train my fast twitch muscles with like sprints and stuff like that.
Do you have any specific workouts that you would recommend to someone trying to develop that explosiveness?
Um, if you're in early stages of it, definitely deadlifts, squats, squat jumps, small stuff like that, and not like marathon running and shit like that. Sprints, bike work, stuff like that is
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
take
you
that. I'm gonna take that marathon running personal.
there. Hey, every fighter, every athlete is different.
That's no. With the marathon running, it definitely takes a different level of cardio. I think that was probably one of the hardest things I ever did was just pushing through the 26 miles. Was it 26? Yeah, 26.2, 26.4, 26.4. The 0.4 always messes me up. But like the marathon, like my whole body locked up. That shit was tough. Like that last 2 miles where like you're pushing and like everything just seizes up and it's fucking nightmare because like you watch everything go down the drain in like literal seconds.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a tough thing to do. Yeah.
have you ever experienced anything like that, like in any of your fights where like everything's on the line and like in the last minutes it just kind of feels like it's falling apart?
Oh fuck yeah. The Hammerstone fight. I feel like that's the amateur fight that I lost. That one, yeah, my head just wasn't in that one at all. So like when it came time to like show up in that final minute, I just couldn't. I just shit the bed on that one.
What do you kind of do to prepare yourself mentally?
Nowadays, I feel like I wasn't big on it back in the day, but now I'm just like I guess alone more and with my thoughts more. Also, I like to read a lot nowadays, and also I watch a couple of these videos I find on YouTube that help out a lot. But a lot of people a lot of people will find this weird, but like I read a lot of like martial arts manga, and
Okay.
most of the stuff I see in there, it's like it really applies to like what we do, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's nothing weird about that because, like, I feel like there's a lot of people in martial arts specifically who have a very nerdy fucking background. Like, there's the anime dudes, there's the fucking weebs. But moreover, there's a lot of anime motivation. I'm not gonna lie, I listen to a little bit of it. Personally, my favorite is the Star Wars stuff. But so what anime are you currently reading?
Manga I'm currently reading. Right now I'm stuck on Kingdom. Kingdom is like a manga about like these warriors and trying to like they're all trying to like unite China as a whole, like through war.
Okay, okay, that's definitely interesting. I stopped reading them, so like, unfortunately, I haven't heard of it. Um, is there a specific character who you resonate most with?
Yeah, his name is Shen. He's shooting for the goal of becoming like a great general.
Okay, okay. What about the character really resonates with you though?
Nah, that man, he's gritty. He's gritty. He's just always trying to get it. He hopped on the battlefield when he was like around 14, and ever since then he's just been like trying to fight as much as he can, any war, you know?
I feel that. I feel that. So what's your I guess what's your kingdom? What's your end goal or for the success? Where does T see himself as the pinnacle of success?
Pinnacle of success. For me, that that definitely have to be just, being revered as one of the best to ever do it. I know a lot of people say that shit and it doesn't hold much weight, but like I truly believe that, and I've been believing that since I was about like 15, 16.
How do you how do you see yourself getting there? Like, is the next step going to be like, say, UFC, ONE FC? Do you see yourself like in one of the major promotions in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I definitely think I go out there and I put on a show, 4-0, 3-0, whatever the case may be. I feel like one of those guys will pick me up. I'm not picky. I'm not going to be like UFC, Bellator, PFL, whatever
Are,
comes along. It's
are you
whatever comes
currently
along.
seeking any of them? Like, I know Donnie Brooks is a good promotion. But like, are there any like specific promotions who you're trying to reach out to in the coming years?
Nah, I gotta build a name first. I can't just like, yeah, I want to go here or text these guys or be like, please sign me. I gotta
Yeah,
want, I gotta make them want to sign me. I don't even have any weight to my name yet.
that's fair. That's fair. Are there any professional fighters, like at least in your current level bracket, that you're looking forward to trying to get?
Like fight?
Oh yeah,
Nah, not really. I mean, as far as local MMA goes, I don't really pay attention to any of these guys. I'm not being a dick about it or anything. I just don't really care for it because I want to be like on the world stage. So like I'm paying attention to the guys like in the UFC or ONE FC that like are at the top level. I'm not there yet, but I'll definitely be there one day. So those guys I'm paying attention to, not the guys who are on the local scene. I mean, if their name starts to create buzz and shit, then best believe I'll be watching.
is there anyone on the local scene who you feel is like I guess on your level, or anyone that you kind of have like an eye out at all for?
That I like that I want to fight or that I think is gonna make it.
That you think might make it? Like,
Um,
we talked to Luis Melendez. I think there was who else? There was this kid, Travis or Trip, something with a T. Who's out of Buffalo. But there's been a few kids who have been kind of making some waves
yeah.
that we've seen.
There's this kid from Mohawk MMA, Alex. Alex. I don't know his last name, but he just won.
Williams?
Yeah, that him.
Okay.
That kid's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
He'll definitely. He's 18.
Is he
He'll go far.
really?
Yeah, I think he's like 18, 19. He'll go far. He's a
No
beast.
shit. Yeah, we saw. I think he was mentioned in one of our recent articles. That's the only reason the name came to mind to me.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a workhorse. He's definitely a workhorse. I think he's had like 4 or 5 fights in the past year.
you kidding? No shit. That does a number on your body though, doesn't it?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I fought. There's 1 year I fought 4 times in 1 year and twice in 1 month. It's a lot.
What do you think is the like almost like as a striking coach, you know, and someone who does like the still does the competitive Brazilian jiu-jitsu? I mean, like, how often do you think you should be competing?
Like in fights or like tournaments.
I mean, I guess if you're doing both.
I mean, if you're an amateur, I would say as much as you can. As much as you can. 3 fights per year is probably like the pinnacle. Like whether you're pro or amateur, 3 fights per year is beautiful. If you can get more, definitely get more if your body can handle it. As far as jiu-jitsu tournaments going, as long as you don't got a fight coming up, dude, do one every weekend if you can, you know? Same thing with like kickboxing fights.
Do you feel like I mean, like some people might say the kickboxing is pretty hard on you. Like, do you feel like that's not as damaging as like say MMA?
It depends on whether you're wearing headgear, shin guards, you know? If that's a factor, then nah.
Okay. Yeah. How was it fighting with the head with the gear on you though?
Oh, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Can't
I
see any headgear. Leg kicks don't feel like they're doing as much damage they supposed to, you know?
yeah, I always hated putting the headgear on. I mean the gloves I don't mind as much, and the net leg pads there, they ain't as bad, but like the headgear I always just fucking felt like it sucked. Because then you gotta constantly adjust it too. I feel like that's the worst part.
Even if you get popped by like a little small jab or something.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's a fucking annoying. Um yeah, how do you feel about finishing your amateurs as number 6 though in New York? Like, do you wish you could have finished higher on there?
See, stuff like that I don't care about. I don't care about that shit. Like, who cares who's the best amateur? I don't give a fuck. I don't care about that. Like, I want to be the best pro. I don't care about being the best amateur or the best local guy. I don't. That kind of thing doesn't like. I won 3 belts in 3 different organizations. Like that shit means nothing to me.
Do you Okay. Okay. Well, I know a lot of people kind of put a lot of stock into that. That's interesting. For you the vision is bigger than that. Like
Yeah,
that's going to be nothing on your but like a spot on your resume.
yeah, yeah. I can care less about that shit.
Are you going to go for the pro Donnybrooke title too?
This is my first pro fight, so I can't bite off more than I could chew. You know, I gotta like see how everything works out because who knows after this fight, maybe I fight in a different organization. Maybe Donnybrooke wants me back. Maybe Donnybrooke doesn't want me back, you know? So I gotta wait and see how things play out.
I got a feeling Rex is going to love you over there, to be honest.
I hope
But
so.
they got a unique little venue. It's I think it's like an auditorium. I wasn't so fortunate last time we went. We got moved because of a request, but I won't get into that. We're planning on being up there again though, so I'm actually looking forward to seeing your pro debut.
Nice, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Like shit, it's a little bit of a drive, but you know, it's worth it. Beautiful Vermont. Have you been there before?
Never been. I'm not a big travel guy. I have never been to a lot of places, and Vermont's one of them. I haven't been to Vermont.
Do you Okay, so is that something that you're looking forward to as you go pro, is like seeing some more places?
Oh fuck yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Cause now I got a reason to, you know.
Oh, for sure. Are you looking forward to going back to New York or fighting in New York at some point? Like the
Um,
city?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't, just because I have a ton of like friends that'll just show up to that, teammates, supporters. So I think so, yeah.
New York's a big city. It's a beautiful place to go. One of my favorite places to visit. Is there any specific place that you want to fight at? Like, you want to fight in Vegas? You want to fight in LA? It's like anything in like that comes to mind.
So are we talking about short term or long term here?
Let's go with both. Fuck it.
All right. So short term, definitely like Madison Square Garden in New York City. Definitely,
Oh,
definitely somewhere there.
that's the best
Long,
fucking venue.
yeah, long term, I would love to fight in Japan. Like long term for sure.
Okay. Okay. So 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 why I love Japan too. I love the neon lights, all the fucking look, the unique culture, the way things are just kind of different. But what's the big appeal for you?
Literally everything you just said. Everything.
Okay.
Literally everything.
Okay. Yeah, it's I'm not as fascinated with China, but Japan, I just love the architecture. I love the beauty. Just the way they built everything there. It's fascinating that they do it so different, but so similar.
Yeah. They actually helped me a lot out with my fighting spirit. They like to call it
Your
Yamato
Budo?
Damashi.
Okay.
Japan. Yeah, they call it Yamato Damashi. That's their kind of fighting spirit. Because I see a lot of Japanese guys, they talk about us Americans, how we're scared to get hit and how we don't like to bring the fight and shit like that. But I feel like what most of the stuff they're saying is pretty true. Because like an American guy will get knocked down and like start to play it safe and like let me like use this and like get away. But like a Japanese guy will get knocked down and see it as like, oh, I gotta get back at this motherfucker. I gotta get that knockdown back. So their fighting spirit is definitely fierce.
Do you think that comes from the culture, or is that something that
It's that samurai. It's definitely yeah, it comes from the culture for sure.
yeah, unfortunately I feel like American culture has kind of become very entitled. People haven't don't have to face a lot of hardship, and as a result, you're less likely, I feel like, to take risks. You're more comfortable, you're more like it's like every you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know that I see it the same way with the Japanese. I feel like there's a huge depression issue over there. A lot of them are even scared to like talk to women nowadays. I heard like there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to
I don't
throw
know
shade.
about all that. I just know
I
about
love
fighting. That's it. I'm just on the fight.
Listen, I feel like if you're afraid to talk to a girl, you're probably afraid to get punched in the face. But
Yeah.
that's just my personal take. Um, personally, I don't know why, but I get punched in the face and I smile. But probably that probably goes back to childhood shit. But yeah, I think everyone has like a different mentality from their upbringing. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like you said, like you grew up kind of throwing hands on the street.
Yeah.
So like that translates directly over to why are you gonna give a fuck when there's rules when you're used to it when there's no rules?
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, it's pretty watered down.
What do you feel about the your upcoming opponent Philippe? Like, do you have any
Uh,
any opinions on his fighting style? Anything that he's put out just yet?
I'm not gonna give away too much, but Philippe or Felipe. My bad, I don't know how to pronounce his
I
name.
I don't know either.
He's a pretty tough opponent. He's been around for a long time, veteran, well seasoned. Yeah, I mean, there's really no opinions out there on him. He's a good fighter. He's decent.
Do you Are you concerned about his last win there with the KO kick?
Absolutely not. I'm sorry. That's what's supposed to happen. The guy was 0-3, 0-2. That's what's supposed to happen. It's it, that's a given. you know.
So you don't feel like that was that had any what's the word I'm thinking of? Well, I mean, it was a 14-second finish, like first round,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that's kind of impressive, right? A little bit.
I mean, it's what's supposed to happen. Philippe, like I said, Felipe, he's a talented fighter, you know, like going up against someone who's 0-3 or 0-4, that's what's supposed to happen. Like in my amateur career, I fought someone who was 0-6 because my opponent had dropped out a day before, so they just found me this random guy. It's like I finished him in the first round within like a minute, which is supposed to happen. That's like those kind of things I can't be like wow, like amazing, like because you know it's what's
Yeah.
supposed to happen. And I'm not faulting Philippe or Felipe for it because like I don't know what happened. Like I would have accepted the fight too. It's like I'm getting paid. Fuck it.
So you watch a lot of fights though. Has there been like a knockout or anything that like has really stood out the most to you?
As far as what goes, just like in general.
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm sure like I said, you probably watch a lot of UFC, probably a lot of the ONE FC,
Mhm.
probably a lot of Bellator local matches if you can. Is there has there been like a knockout that's like kind of shook you or left you shocked?
The Max Holloway one, the Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje one. That one was pretty life changing for me. It was crazy.
What about that left you kind of shook?
Because nobody thought that Max was gonna beat Justin, let alone knock him out. And especially like with the last 10 seconds.
Okay. Oh, let me see if I can find it. It's Max Holloway Gaethje.
Hmm.
I actually didn't check it, so I want to see. Oh, first one that comes up. Look at that. Badass motherfucker. Oh, okay. That was the last BMF. Yeah, I got this cool screen shares. Oh, here we go.
Another hard low kick.
Pop
Now
up.
it's forced him to change stances. That left leg is destroyed. Finally, in minute 25, Holloway shows some mortality. Look at this.
There-
Holloway just told him, stand right here.
Lag.
Oh, big connection late.
There we go. And I missed the knockout, of course.
Minute 25. Body by Max, another hard low.
And Max
Gaethje
was
looks
up,
bad.
Max was up like 4-1, I think, at that point. Or he was up 5-0. I'm not too sure, but he didn't have to do that.
Oh, that overhand too. Boom. Was that haymaker? Damn.
It was a good one, right?
That was a good one. You got any predictions for how you well, nah, we don't want to give anything away. I was
No.
gonna ask I was gonna
I get.
I was gonna ask you got any predictions for your finish for Philippe, but I guess we can't talk about that.
Yeah, we yeah, I can't put too much out there.
That's fair. Do you so you are looking for sponsors right now. Have you been putting yourself out there very much otherwise?
We've been reaching out and stuff, but like as far as the social media stuff goes, I'm not too great with that. But that is definitely a skill I need to work on developing.
I think that's one of those things that a lot of fighters kind of struggle with. We were talking with Melendez, who's struggling with the same thing. It was one of those things that kind of was difficult for me myself to get used to, kind of just reaching out to people and asking for money and being like, yo, I got ad space. You want to get on here? But it becomes easier. You get used to the nose and you get used to the getting left on red and shit.
Yeah.
But all right. We are on 35 minutes, my friend. Do you have anything else you want to touch on?
Not really. I would just like to shout out my sponsors if that's cool.
Absolutely, my man. Go ahead. Shoot them all out.
All right, so I just want to give a huge shout out to my sponsors. I only have two. One of them is Top Course Masonry. They specialize in foundation repair and waterproofing. So if anyone has a problem with their basement or a wet foundation, definitely give them a call. They're based around the upstate area. I'm not too sure how wide it's spread, but they definitely get around and they're great at their jobs. And also my only other sponsor, Bones Barbershop up in Hudson. They always keep me fresh. I mean, not right now, obviously. I haven't got a haircut in about like 3 months. Too worried about the fight. But they're definitely a good barbershop. If you're ever up in Hudson, definitely check them out.
Is that all of them, my man?
Yeah, man, I just have two right now. But
you're all good. I just want to make sure you have the platform, you know?
Yeah, definitely got to say thank you to my only two gyms, Atlas Jiu-Jitsu, where I train out of mainly, but also got to give a huge shout out to Kings of New Jersey. Like, if anybody thought my striking was good before, it's like a different level now, just because of those guys and their tweaks and like advice. Yeah, I can't thank Powell and Coach Lou at Kings of New Jersey enough. And even their environment there is just so welcoming. So, yeah, shout out them.
All right. Thank you, Tavon, for joining us. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Nonsensical Knowledge Podcast, our sponsor for today's podcast. If you guys like conspiracy, anything or I guess not really anti-government, but I guess government conspiracy and what they don't want you to know, make sure you go give them a like, subscribe, and follow. And thank you for joining us. Till next time, this has been episode 7 with Tayvonne Thomas. Stay blessed.
Yep. Have a good day, man.